Rob, how are you?
Hey Sharon, I'm well, thanks. How are
Um,
you?
I'm good. Last time I talked to you was I think like Island of the Idols, so it's been a minute. Uh,
Yeah, that was a couple.
over 5 years ago, I think, at this point. Um, well, I know you've been doing interviews all day. I'm just curious, like, ultimately, what do you think was your undoing? Was it like how you entered the game? Was it your play? Was it tell me sort of about what you sort of credit to
I mean,
your
I don't
play?
even really see it as an undoing. I feel like I played the best I could play from the situation that I was in, and ultimately, like time was up. I'm the type of player that reacts to the situations that happen. And like you can sit here on Monday morning quarterback, like, should I have taken out Bob so early? Should I not have? It's easy to sit there and say, and I get it, like, but from my point of view, the red flag started when he tried to put Carolyn in the coffin. Because in
Mm.
that challenge, the rule was three of us had to be in that room. And we were in that room. And it was scary. But the first three that got there had to make, at least three had to make the
Oh,
decision.
got it.
So three out of four had to be in there. So I got in there as quick as I could. Bob and Danielle were in there. And Bob starts putting out Carolyn. And Danielle's like, yeah, let's put Carolyn in. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, that's horrible. Like, I know, like, Bob's smart. Like, I could tell he was really smart. Um, and I was like, that's going to put suspicion on her. Don't do it. Don't do it. So they didn't do it. And I, like, kind of alleviated it. They killed Jeremy. I didn't want him to, but I let it happen. I was going to just, like, play back. But then at the next challenge, when he calls out the guys in the cage, I'm probably more sensitive to it than everybody else was, but indirectly, I was like, here he goes again. He's figuring out a way to put suspicion on me now. And I took that as a direct threat. And we get back from the challenge in this such a short period of time, and I start getting that ball rolling. And as soon
Yeah.
as I do, now I have to go through with it because I can't stop. Because if I do and let it go, because truthfully, that round table was going Sierra Nikki, and I could have kept my mouth shut and let it go one way or the other. But the next day, it would have came out that what I was saying, and that would have been worse for me. So I took the opportunity to redirect towards Bob and go for him. And, I stand by it. Now, of course, that set off a chain reaction of events because Danielle and Bob and Carolyn were the turret first. They didn't see what I saw as far as the threat of him saying me. Carolyn didn't even know at the time that Bob tried to put her in the coffin. So it ultimately, the ramifications of that led to complete chaos in the turret, which made the game pretty much impossible at that point.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I know Derek sort of came at you. What that was like sort of a messy roundtable with Wes. At that point, had you considered not murdering Derek just because you're like, and people are definitely gonna know think it's me, or you're like too far gone? You're like, I'm just going all in on
So
this.
that was really that was actually a surprise to me that Derek came at me. I was surprised. And I knew immediately when he came at me that he wanted me to come right back at him.
Yeah.
And I was too smart for that. I wouldn't take that bait because what happened when me and Bob the drag queen were going at it with each other, Bob tried to switch it back to me. And they didn't show this in the edit, but I was like, that's a mirror technique. He's mirroring his projection on me, right? So I knew Derek
Mm.
was trying to trap like he's smart, like they're all smart. So then I pivoted and I said something like, I actually agree with you, Derek. I think one of the three of us is a traitor, but I don't think it's you. I think it's Wes. And it caught Wes off guard. And I pointed it towards him and I had everybody's attention. And, he
And
defended
luckily, no one
himself.
liked him, sadly.
Yeah. So then murdering Derek, like that was my MO though. Like, so I remember like getting ready for this season. I watched season one and season two, and I was like, how cool would it be if you're a traitor and anybody that comes at you, you can just murder and blame it on the fact that, like, why would I do that? I'm way smart of a player. And now I find myself in that exact position that I'm able to do it. Anybody that says anything bad against me, I'm gonna kill him. And why would I ever do that? Because I'm too smart of a player. But I killed too many of the gamers that recognize that. And Tom Sandoval, who's not, thinking on that level, ends up being my undoing.
Yeah.
And no shade to Tom. I mean, like, whatever. He was right. Like, I did have suspicion, but like, I was going for the fact or hoping that people wouldn't see it. And that's why I kind of went at Brittany. I mean, I can Monday morning quarterback and sit here and tell you, like, yeah, maybe if I kept Derek and then I could have got Danielle banished and recruited Derek and then framed it on Derek. But I mean, in the moment, that's what I was going with. And, Derek was a formidable opponent, as
Hmm.
was Wes, Bob the Drag Queen. Bob Harper was really smart and intuitive. I mean, even Robin, like, I felt Robin coming for me. And that's why I pushed to kill her, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. Well, can I ask you why Danielle seems to have so much sus? People are like, what's going on with Danielle? She's acting erratically, but no
yeah,
one seems to like actually go after her other than Carolyn, of course. Like, why is that? Why was Danielle's
yeah.
name not out there more?
She has like this feeble, I'm afraid, crying, shaking thing. But her gameplay is egregiously bad from a trader's point of view, and I stand by that. And I know I made comments when I exited. I said, she's a bad trader, bad game player, bad all around. I think the bad all around, I was probably a little bit jealous,
Hmm.
or bitter, whatever. But the bad trader and the bad game player, I stand by. And by game player, like, I'm not talking about a Big Brother game. I'm talking about this game. The challenge where we had to do the riddles, she was really good at getting the riddles right. She was really good. And again, I don't know why they edited it this way or they didn't show it, but like, there was a point where her picture was on the wall, and I believe it was Derek's picture was up there as well. And she went and got another one correct. And I knew she was in alliance with Derek. So now she has to make a decision. She chooses Dolores, who's also in her alliance. And instead of taking Derek down and putting Dolores up, she takes herself down and
Yeah.
puts Dolores up. Are
Okay.
you kidding me? Like, in what world does any trader do that? And that's where my react, like, everybody's like, what is she doing? Like, why would she do that? I think it was stressful for her, and I think once I got rid of Bob, it kind of like I said, the chain reaction of events in the turret made it impossible. But I think she felt that she needed to get me to get some kind of vindication, and she was focused on, I don't know, building an alliance for later to get rid of Carolyn, to get rid of me. Like, it all doesn't make a lot of sense.
Got it.
I don't think Danielle's a bad person. I think different people have a difficult time playing different roles in different games. And to be a trader and to perform at the round table takes a specific skill set that I think, like, Bob the Drag Queen was great at it. He was so good. He could
Yeah.
play both sides good. The only thing he messed up on was being too cocky that he thought that I wouldn't pick up on his little thing. But I've
Hmm.
been doing this 23 years, Sharon. So,
Well, Rob, I was going to ask you, have you seen the resurgence of memes and oh my God, Boston Rob was so hot and people are watching Marquesas and All Stars? Like, are you on TikTok? Are you seeing all this?
no, I haven't seen it, but I heard about it. Can you send it to me so I can send it to show to Amber? So just let her know. I guess I'm no, just
Well,
kidding.
Amber's in a lot of the clips because everyone's like, oh my
Oh,
God, the love story. Like, there's a
yeah.
contingent of people that missed that and now they're
You know
watching
what's
it.
cool is like it is like a whole other generation is getting to see it because it was a lot like, my grandmother is a big fan. My mom's now like
Yep.
the new kids because of streaming and everything else. So, I went into this with like not really any expectations. I wanted to go and have fun, and like the most surprising thing for me was like the different friendships I made outside of like the gamer world. You
Oh,
know, Dylan and I become pretty good friends. They didn't show it so much, but Chriselle and Nikki and I really worked together well in one of the challenges in Sierra. Um, And it was fun, and I meant it when I stood up and I said it was fun to meet everybody. And like you know me, like I play these games, and then it's a game, and that's that, and
Mhm.
move on.
Yep. I know you have to go, Rob. I'm just curious. I know you're hosting the Dondi sort of after show. What are your thoughts on Dr. Will, David, and Parvati playing this season?
Oh my goodness, it's entertaining, that's for sure. Right,
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I said before at the end of last season, before this season, that like they asked me like, what other survivor you think? I was like, I don't think any other survivor could come out here and do what I did because it's going to be too hard. And it's weird. Instead of like them coming at her like they came at me, they're
I know.
embracing her,
Yeah.
And David's hiding in plain sight. Admittedly, I didn't know David before this season. And Dr. Will is just like love him or hate him, he's entertaining. Uh, so it's a fun show, and I mean, it's going to get even better too.
Yeah. I'm excited. Well, Rob, it's always nice talking with you. Huge fan. And it was great. It was great watching you. Honestly, amazing television as usual.
Pleasure to speak with you again, Sharon.
Thanks. Have a good one.